Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to Humankind. We are coming back to this game because a new content pack has been released, The Cultures of Africa, which introduces 6 new cultures into the game, 1 for each era, as well as new wonders, new independent peoples, and a bunch of new events. Pretty exciting, especially excited to get into some of these new cultures and see if they might be the new meta. We'll find out. A big thank you to Amplitude Studios and Sega for getting me early access to this DLC, as well as sponsoring this series. Very much appreciated. Of course, if you guys like what you see and you'd like to learn more, you can find links to your preferred store in the description down below. Let's go ahead and start up a new game. Now, in the last series, we played at maximum difficulty on Humankind. I'm not going to do that this time around. We're going to bump things back down to Empire, which is the highest difficulty you can go to before the AI starts to get some cheaty buffs. The reason I'm doing this is because I have no idea if these new cultures are going to be very powerful or very weak, but I want to have the strategic flexibility to pick them anyway and not really risk losing the game. Otherwise, I'll get kind of stuck with the standard industry and science meta, and I don't want to have to do that this series, so this will be a bit more casual, but hopefully still pretty fun. We will go for a faster pace this time around, because I'd like to get this done in a few videos, and we'll be going for a small map with only 4 players. Again, just kind of speeding up the game. It is worth noting, though, since the last series, there have been some patches to the game, including the addition of some new world generator features, like increased strategic resources and luxuries too. Yes, I'm so happy about that. So that's a new thing. Also, there are new endgame conditions. We'll stick with the default for now, but you could change it to last human standing, a time limit, a space race, or set up your own custom endgame conditions if you wanted to. Totally up to you. All right, let's go ahead and start up a new game and see how we fare with the cultures of Africa. Okay, here we are in our new world, of course starting off in the Neolithic era as a nomadic tribe. We're going to be exploring the world, looking for curiosities that can give us some boosts, like food for more population or science for more influence and so on. These are all things we're going to want to do. So we'll go ahead and start moving up this way, collecting as much as we can, especially keeping an eye out for any opportunities for food. I will warn you up front with this series, I do reserve the right to maybe do some jump cuts if absolutely necessary, because I'm hoping we're going to be able to get through one entire era with every video. That's the idea. So sometimes, if things are kind of in a down period, man, this just spawned right again, didn't it? If we're in a bit of a down period and you kind of know what I'm already going to do, then I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick jump cut. You won't miss out on any major content if I do my job correctly, but at least we'll be able to progress at a pretty quick pace. Let's go ahead and move on to the next turn, grab some more science. Okay, we can get even more science over here. At this point, that should be enough science to get our Era Star. And with that Era Star, we could now move on to choosing our culture. Looks like our opponents have chosen the Nubians, the Mycenaeans, and the Hittites. Pretty aggressive. I'm actually not going to choose my culture right now. The new culture that we want is the Bantu, right over here. These guys are pretty interesting, but believe it or not, I think I want to stick in the Neolithic era for a little bit. Trust me, it will make my life easier if I don't jump directly into that. We have an event, a tribe's legacy. We could go for extra industry per population, we can go for food, or we can go for science. I usually think that industry is the best. That said, a lot of my early game, I already focus on producing food and industry, but I often start falling behind in science. So this would let me kind of keep on pace while I work on the other two. I think I'm going to go ahead and choose storytellers. Is it the right choice? I don't know. But it seems like a fun choice, so we're going to go with it. Hey, food, thank God. All right, we need to get some more people. You are going to head down over this. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to. Okay, well, these guys are going that way then, and these guys are going to go over here, I guess. Sure, grab that science. We could have done that a little bit better. We do need to consider setting up an outpost pretty soon. Where would I want to set one up, though? Nothing jumping out as immediately good. 7 and 12 is not bad exactly. 11-6 is kind of okay. 8-10, 4-16. There's some stuff we haven't seen yet. I do like setting up next to a bunch of forests if we can't get a river. So maybe I set up an outpost over here or something. We'll come back to that next turn and we will see. But I do want to get those soon. Lost souls. Oh, we get extra people. Perfect. We will have a new tribe person. And that actually is enough to increase my population. So I get even more Era Stars. Which means... Oh, hey, food. I want that. Which means we are going to be getting even more fame. Awesome. It's one more reason not to go into the Neolithic era. Let's pick up this. Oh, there's more food over here. Grab this too. You are going to go ahead and grab this. And we'll use you to go ahead and claim this. I want to just get this going a little bit faster. You go over here, then start working your way up over here. We have a lot of population this direction now. I could go and attack a bunch of animals, but I actually want to save those on the map for a little bit longer. Sounds weird, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Actually, you sit tight. I may need to split this group up in a little bit. Let's go ahead and move on to the next turn once again. We find some more science. Okay, I'm going to take one of these guys, split you off from the main group, and then have you move up this way. You go ahead and move up this way. You grab the science, and then let's explore down over here. We need to find another place for an outpost. So what I'm specifically looking for right now are more places to grab outposts and territories. You could do this as the Bantu, but they have kind of an interesting and unique mechanic that makes it a little bit harder, I think, to set up some proper outposts. So it's better to do it now in the Neolithic era, otherwise we'll be a little bit slower in our rollout. At least that's my opinion. Hey, look, more food. Perfect. You guys don't have any food. We'll move over this way. Please don't move there, mammoth. All right, we're going to ignore that food for a moment then, because the mammoth decided to hang out over there. That's fine. Let us move you over here, I guess, so you'll be in position to grab it. Apparently, there's food here. We just ran over it, but didn't get anything. Another outpost. I'm looking for some good food and industry, ideally. 12 and 4, 10 and 8. More industry, of course, is absolutely king. I think we'll set up right over here. Seems okay. There's some more food and horses. Excellent. I'm kind of going blind here. It's a bit risky to be planting down outposts without knowing what's around, but that is the risk I'm taking. I'm also not going to burn down these sanctuaries yet, believe it or not. That's something we will be coming back to once I am the Bantu. Where can we set up a good fort on the river? Maybe over here. 13 and 12 is pretty solid. Sure. We'll move over here, and maybe I place down another outpost there. Once we have another couple of outposts, I think that's the time we can go ahead and move on for something else. You're going to skip your turn. Let's just go ahead and end here. Have an event. Violent pursuits. Let's see. Cheaper domestication's okay. I don't really think I want to get the experience. I think I'll just go for free food in the capital outpost over here. That should be fine. You move down over here, grab the food. Not enough to grow. We'll have you move up that direction. You are going to move up over here. You are going to grab the food. That gets me more population. Excellent. Let's keep exploring this way. You'll grab this. You'll grab this. You'll grab this. There we go. And then let's set up that outpost because I don't want to wait any longer than this. Okay, one more turn, and then I think we go ahead and move on to becoming the Bantu. You go up here. Hello, we have a neighbor nearby. Mycenians, I think, is that icon. Yes, that's exactly what they are. All right, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem at some point, but we have a lot of units right now, and those are all going to get converted into my unique unit in just a little bit, so I'm okay with that. Let's set up that outpost right away. You are going to join up over here. You are going to go grab this food for a little bit of extra units. You are going to continue exploring just a little bit and see if there's anything else of excitement. Yes, there is. There's something fun over there. Cool. All right. I actually should have moved on to the Bantu just now. I actually messed it up by one turn, but that's fine. So what do the Bantu do? Great question. We get extra influence per number of adjacent empires on a territory. So if a territory is adjacent to 3 separate empires, we would get 6 influence on that one territory. I assume if you have multiple territories attached to another empire, you get that stacking bonus as well. So if we have one neighbor and then 3 territories adjacent to them, I assume you also still will get 6 influence. I could be wrong, but we'll find out. Then we have this, the Mubia Fields. This is unique because it is not a district that you can build. It is an upgrade for your outposts. Not your administration centers on your territories, but a non-attached outpost. And what it does is provide 10 food to adjacent city territories. So even if we haven't spent the influence to attach an outpost to a city, it is providing an extra 10 food to said city. And if you have multiple cities attached or adjacent to this territory, it stacks that benefit up. So if I have one territory, for example, with a city on the left and a city on the right, we'll get a total of 20 extra free food out of this this outpost. The downside being it's not attached to anyone, so we're not getting the extra industry. It's not a good long-term solution, but it can change up how you grow. Then we have a unique unit, the Bugendi Pioneers. These guys are not very good at combat, but they are nomads that function very similar to our Neolithic tribe units. As they fight or ransack, they'll gather food, and then as they gather food, you can get free extra units. And then, if they use Pioneer Curiosities, they also can generate you new units. The downside is, in order to settle new outposts, you have to have a group of 4 Pioneers and spend them to get an outpost. A little weird, a little different. These are one of the most unique early game civs that I think I know of. But here we are. Let's grab that food, then we're going to pop down over here, try to grab that Science Curiosity. Might actually go away once we do adopt the next thing, but oh well. I'm not going to kill these animals or the sanctuary because I know that we are going to be able to get some extra stuff, extra resources once we become the Bantu. Now with 3 guys over here, I think I'm just going to go ahead and attack the Mycenaeans, and we're going to go ahead and do an instant resolution. We lost a unit, but we killed them and got some extra spoils, some food and some influence. Okay, and they've lost one of their scouts. So that's going to make them very angry, but you know what? Whatever. I don't want them having units if I can avoid it. Am I right? That's the way to go. Let's go ahead and skip this and move on. You're going to grab that. Okay. Then we want to go over here, probably and grab this science. There are more territories I want to grab out in this direction, especially along the river, but we're going to have to live without it for the moment. Let's end our turn and move on to becoming the Bantu. All right, so we are going to get an upgrade. That's our new clothing. We look pretty cool, right? And every one of those Neolithic tribes just became an upgraded unit. So we have a whole bunch of these pioneer units. So let's go ahead and start by, let's say, attacking the deer here, and we're going to instantly resolve that, and we get 5 food and 5 influence. There we go. Then we'll move over here, and we're going to start ransacking these sanctuaries and get a whole lot of extra food that away. You guys are also... Whoops, we are being attacked by... I don't know who you are. Who is this? We have an enemy bear. Honestly, that's fine. We'll go ahead and resolve this as well. We did not lose a unit, but we got 10 food and 10 of that as well. Okay, perfect. Can you go and attack these deer? Yes, let's go ahead and do that too. And these curiosities still give me stuff as well, so we want all of that. All right, so that's done. Again, didn't lose anything, get a little bit of food. We're gonna head over here. Now, interestingly enough, it looks like the Mycenaeans have maybe grabbed this territory. Okay, so we are gonna be going to war against them fairly early on, I am guessing. Okay, I know that there was a curiosity off in this direction, but it's already gone. All right, forget some of these, turn around, let's see if we can grab some extra food. I need to get up to 4 pops because that's how we are going to be getting some extra territories. We need to be getting all of this. So we'll pop in there, now we have 4. So if I want to claim a territory over here, it takes up these 4 units, but look at this, it doesn't take any influence. That's weird, but we are spending these units, so you want to be getting food as aggressively as you can. This is where, by the way, finding and fighting mammoths ends up being pretty good for you, but it's why I left these sanctuaries alone. I also should probably purge down this lair if we can, and that's going to be enough to let me claim this territory over here as well. So the Bantu are weird. You can really expand pretty darn rapidly if you're careful and have lots of food going in for these pioneers. The higher your population in the early game, the stronger you're going to end up being. We should go ahead and convert this into a city. We do need to have one. We'll go for polytheism because I'm not going to attach any territories for a little bit. And look at this. We do not have attached territories here, right? They're on their own, hence why you see this special little icon. But if you hover over this, we see we are getting 20 food from the Mubia Fields. That's our bonus because we have 2 non-attached. The moment we attach them, we are going to lose 10 of that food for each one we attach. Now, in this case, since we're getting 13 food and 12 industry, you could argue it's still worth it. In fact, I'm going to say it definitely is. Because I really want the extra industry, so I ramp up faster. So we're going to go ahead and attach it anyway. But as a result, now we only get 10 food because this is the non-attached territory. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense, because I'm not going to get to explain it any better than that. All right, what else do we want to do? Well, it says we should go ahead and get some industry off in this direction. I don't really disagree. We'll do that. We also should probably get some food queued up as well as maybe pottery workshop so we can get some extra influence early on. So I'll be able to attach more stuff and create more cities. Okay. As far as science is concerned, we could go for domestication early. It's not a bad idea. Calendar would get us some luxury resources. Carpentry will be very good, though, because I'm going to have a lot of nearby forests. So we'll pick this up, then domestication, probably. And then maybe work on to something like irrigation. Depends on when I want to go for calendar, but we may try for this. I definitely need to go down some military techs early on because I fully expect that we are going to have some problems with our neighbors. Let's go ahead and end that turn. Actually, there's food over here. Let's grab that first. Then we're going to pop back over here. You're going to grab this. Oh, never mind. We're actually potentially going to get attacked. Since we have these 4 people, we did say we wanted to go do this, so let's go ahead and plan on that. We were going to have go and ransack this sanctuary, and I stand by that. You're going to do the same thing right over here against this sanctuary. Unfortunately, we have to go a long way around, but oh well, c'est la vie. So it's just some food sitting around that we're not going to get to take advantage of right now, but okay, that's fine. We have a few civics we could work with. Extra influence on the main plaza. Absolutely worth it. It will pay for itself in only 2 turns. We could also reduce the cost of creating new outposts, but I'm not going to spend any influence on outposts, so I think it's better to go ahead and make it cheaper to attach outposts. We'll go ahead and codify that instead. There we go. Moving on to the next turn. Everyone go forth and do what you were going to do. Carpentry has been researched thanks to some free science. Excellent. And I would like to go over here, but that may be a little tricky. What do we have with this? Okay, we got some enemies nearby, and that's a little scary. I do want to grab this. I do think that we should probably move over here and attack and kick these guys out, even if it is in their own territory. I just want them gone, so we'll do that. One of our guys dies, but oh well. Then you can head back down over here. So these guys... we're gonna head over this direction and get ready to fight over a lair, probably. It is worth trying to steal that away from these guys. I do not want to have these guys spawning stuff on me. I think we want to create a city over in this direction. And if we have 2 territories over here that are producing food for our capital and for another city over here, that means we'll get a total of 40 extra food between these 2 territories, at least until I start attaching them. Kind of interesting. It just changes up the math a little bit. Changes up the math on how you want to play the game. Alrighty, anything else we want to do? No, let's go ahead and end that turn. Domestication tech is done. We'll be going for some horses early. Let's do that in there. Okay, we are getting attacked over here. That's unfortunate. I would like to possibly pull you guys in. I am not allowed to do so, apparently. Okay, I don't really want to fight this with these guys. My Pathfinders are, like, really weak, so we're going to go ahead and retreat until I can get some more reinforcements. I think that's going to be the better way to go. We can probably try for a ransack right here, and it'll only take 1 turn. They're attacking me already, but I'm in a slightly more defensible location. We could try to fight this. I'm going to go for manual battle on this one to try and increase my odds of success here. The flag is located there. I want to make sure that I hold the high ground. I do not want to give that to them, so we're going to pull you guys back over this way, and that should be fine. End deployment. Okay. Let's see where they end up going me. They're fighting over here. Interesting choice. Well, then I'm going to be taking the high ground. Now, I think they actually did improve the UI interface as far as... Well, UI is interface, but they improved the UI to show better forecasting of how you'll be able to attack. So if I right-click here, I can then see that I can then make this attack, which we'll go ahead and do like so. You are going to attack from the high ground up over here. You are going to probably just charge in directly. Let's just go ahead and hit them, and then you are going to move over here and attack this way too. Okay, we're just trying to weaken these guys a little bit. They're going to be attacking me, but fortunately they're not stacking up on the units they probably should. So we'll go ahead and just kill you, and boom, there we go, we're safe. Okay, and we should be able to ransack that lair. So let's choose that there, and hopefully no more spawns. Perfect. Okay. Let's see, what else we want to do? There are new civics for army composition. I'm going to ignore that for the moment. We don't need it. You are going to go ransack that sanctuary. It should only take a turn, but it's worth a fair bit of food, a whole new unit, plus some extra money. You do have to pay maintenance on all these guys, so just because you have a whole lot of them, be aware, you're going to have to pay for it at some point. It kind of hurts. All right, you go over here and... Ooh, okay, you get down over here. Well, yeah, there's some Mycenians nearby. We can attack you and kill you. I would like to set up an outpost, but let's just go ahead and attack these guys and finish them off. Okay, he's running away. That's probably fine. Outpost, where's it going to go? What's a good spot for an outpost? Something close to the city, I think. Probably right over here, I would guess. And then we can build stuff along this river? Not really, actually. Well, sort of. Down over this way, maybe. There's not a very good spot for a city over here, if I'm honest. This is kind of a meh territory. Kind of meh. Is there any reason to take this? I mean, it does have 2 dies. Plus, we can just, you know, deny territory to the Mycenians, so that's probably worth it. I guess I'll go for a heavy a heavy industry area. This will end up being okay once we get to our next culture, because all these rocky fields will end up being pretty good, but yeah, this is kind of questionable, I think, but still, let's go ahead and do it. That's going to be where we place down the next outpost. Then we'll move down here, grab this, get an extra unit, and then we'll go and kill the Mycenaeans. All right, so that's done. Let's go move over here, try to get some extra gold or science. It was science and influence. Beautiful. And you're going to move back up over here, and I don't think there's a lot else for me to do with all these units, if I'm being completely honest. We could try exploring this direction, I suppose. We'll try for it. Okay. At this point, I think I'm going to go ahead and use a small jump cut. Let's first grab this just so I have the extra unit. Then we're going to attack you. He's probably going to retreat. Never mind. We get to kill him. All right, so that's a kill on you. You're going to hate me, but that's probably fine. Let's go ahead and set this up. And, oh, good. Enemy chariots. Okay. By setting up this outpost, we lost some of this food over here, but that's not the end of the world. Let's just try to grab some of these curiosities and keep these guys away. I do want to convert this into a city. I think we can go ahead and do it now. That said, if I waited until I had calendar tech, which I can get now, we can first go here and then use influence to instantly buy out the dyes, which is worth a pretty good amount of stability. Then we should have enough influence to still upgrade you, which we'll do. I now have an extra era star, and we should have a lot of extra food coming in. So you are getting 20 from the Mubia Fields, and you are getting 20 from the Mubia Fields. So until we attach these guys, that's a lot of extra food going around right now. Lots of extra food. Religious rites? Procession or cheaper religious districts? I think I'll go for the cheaper religious districts. That could be nice. Army composition. Cheaper units can be nice. Also, stronger units can be nice, especially in the early game where one extra strength makes a big difference, but I'll hold off on that for the moment. Okay, as far as science, what else should we do? Honestly, we should start working toward things like bronze working and organized warfare. I will eventually want to get to mounted warfare, because I suspect we're going to be fighting against the Mycenaeans early on, and I really want to have that. This is apparently an independent city. It's been taken over. There's Mercury and stuff over here. If we didn't want to fight the Mycenaeans, there's a city I can conquer over here, which is probably why they have these chariots roaming around, actually. Okay, that makes sense. In this idle city, we can now go for some extra artisanal quarters, or it would probably be better to go for the lumberyard since I have a lot of forests, and maybe the extra food from flood irrigation. Then we go for something like this, so I can start getting extra benefits from all these forests. Lots of extra industry coming in there. Eventually, the obelisk to the gods will be nice, but I don't need it right now. What are we generating over here? 8 food and 8 industry and 2 science. So if I attach this, I will lose food in my main capital at the gain of industry, but then I'll lose a bunch of food over here as well. You see how this gets a little bit weird? It's just kind of a bizarre way to have to play the game. I think we need to get food over here kind of ASAP, and I guess we'll build along the river. So that'll be fine, and then maybe start working on flood irrigation. So we get extra food along this direction. I just need to get some food in this area, at least until we can get more attachments. But even though this city only has, like, basically nothing, I mean, it's mostly an industrial city, we get so much extra food just because we have these. It's just weird. It's just weird. Let's go for city growth, by the way, and probably, now we should just go ahead and get one more extra pop over there. And nothing we can do to grow over here. I'm losing a bit of gold in science, but I'll live with it. Moving on over there. City defense has been researched. Over here, we could start looking for some horse ranches, which we will do to get some extra horses in the Empire. There's an Aerostar. Could go for more stuff there, more dyes. We're going to actually have a monopoly on dyes by the time this is done, aren't we? That's going to be interesting. Could move on to the next era already. Okay, so this is where I was saying maybe we can do like one extra era per video or something? Maybe. Is there anything up over here? Yes, I know I can enter. I've got Aerostars and stuff. We actually should be able to stick around here for a bit longer and get extra Aerostars if I want to. I mean, all we have to do is get one more territory and then boom. We've got that. Let's see. Builder stars, agrarian stars. We're kind of close-ish. Couple more techs, couple more kills, and we will get some stars there. Yeah, we could farm out a fair bit more fame. I don't have to move on to the next era yet, but I will want to do that fairly soon. Let's move on. So we just got a lot of extra industry over here. We're now up to 72. We're still growing pretty rapidly, and that's going to get better once we have this going. If I can stack up a lot of influence, and we're getting 60 per turn right now, it would be kind of cool to claim a wonder like the Pyramid of Giza, now wouldn't it? That could be pretty darn nice. I like that. It's a very good wonder. Grab this. We get bronze working done early. Thank you, free science. More stuff. Yes, please. Even more carcasses worth some money. Okay. I mean, in the event things are starting to look really nasty, that's going to be a thing for me. What about this? So this is, again, a territory where I could sacrifice 20 food between these two cities in order to get another 17 industry in one of these. I mean, it might be worth it. It's just, oof, you really have to think about it now. It might be worth just sitting back here, getting that population up nice and high, and then we can worry about it later. Maybe. I definitely want to get the copper going a little bit faster over here, so we can start working on some bronze. I'll be able to get better units when the time comes. Leadership. Extra city cap and stability. So those are both very good. City cap will be my preference. We don't need to spend the influence on this yet, though, because I'm not going to have another city for a little bit longer, so we can ignore it. Over here, it looks like there are mountains, and we are now stuck with nowhere to go. Fun! All right, time to start backing up with these guys. Let's go ahead and start moving over toward the main city. I have no idea if we're going to get attacked by these chariots or by the Mycenaeans over here at some point, but I want to be ready for them when the time comes. Let's see, still growing fine over there. These guys are moving around, but they're not ransacking, so that's a good sign. You guys are going to be growing another pop in a turn or so. We should have finished out a district, so we're getting a bit more food, and the flood irrigation is going to make that better for sure. If we go for masonry, there's a lot of rocky fields over in this general area. Stone fields as well, so industrial districts actually become very good once we get masonry set up. That said, the better option is probably to get animal barns, which is going to get me extra food per horse, and we have 2 horses right now. So that's worth 10 extra food, which is better than I could produce from most districts at this point in the game. So yeah, let's go ahead and build up the animal barns. I don't need any stability, and I don't feel like I need to get the sage. That said, the more we have, the more food we get. Yeah, all right, it's probably worth getting these. Let's just go ahead and do that. Over in these districts that I have not yet attached, can we get more stuff? Yes, we can get some copper, so I'll do that. We can get some luxuries. We can get obsidian over here, and that is worth extra industry on all cities. Okay. And we can get some marble, it looks like. Marble is also worth industry on all cities. Okay. So this is what I like using with a lot of my influence. It means we can actually sit back and, like, not attach things for a bit, farm up enough influence to get all these resources, then attach them. Like, you're not being... usually you'd want to do that anyway, but we're not really being penalized for doing so. We're getting extra food. It makes it a little bit of an easier equation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We should also consider getting some of these. We can get some pearls. That's worth money. Per trader, not that important. Ambergris is worth a bit of science. I do love having some of that. So we've got a pretty decent number of luxuries already. That's kind of an awkward thing for me to have. I'm not accustomed to it. What else is there? There is incense up over here, and there is going to be some silk as well, worth even more industry and even more money. My God. Yeah, we're getting a lot of luxuries. I didn't even turn those up. You know, I didn't even turn up high luxury amounts. I just got that straight up. That's pretty cool. You guys go ahead and start moving over here. You guys move up over here. We're going to try to grab that curiosity and then back off before the Mycenaeans get angry. All right, let's go ahead and do a jump cut until I feel like I'm ready to leave this era. I think at this point we could probably go ahead and move on. It's only been another turn or two. Had to run away from these guys attacking. There's quite a few neutral enemies, and I'm not really happy about that. But before I do that, one, let's keep in mind that if I were to attach one more territory, we would get an extra bit of fame, so I should go ahead and do that. Do we take you and attach you to the capital, or do we attach this over here? Kind of depends. 20 industry is kind of a lot of industry. I'm going to go ahead and attach this for only 12 influence. Boom. That gets me the Era Star. And then we also want to wait one more turn because then I'll get enough influence to grab a Wonder, and I do want to get that. Please move, units. Don't get attacked. Oh, Lord, they're getting a little close. Scary. Then we can have you guys back up over here. Okay. Now let's claim a Wonder. I want the Pyramid of Giza, dang it. I want to get this before I move on to the next era because then we won't be able to get this cultural wonder, but the Pyramid of Giza is good for the entire game. Cheaper districts are really nice because you want to have a lot of districts. So we'll go ahead and work on that. Then these guys are all going to have to join forces. 6 units in total over there. We also have a religious boost. Okay. Let's go to the tenants. What do we want? Reject luxury, get a lot of money on luxury resource deposits. Well, we have a lot of luxury resources, so this would be a ton of money. Like a ton. Stability on rivers, okay. Influence on a mountain, they don't have a lot of those. We have some, though. Experience when creating units, meh. Coastal, we have a few, but I'm not going to take advantage of those. We won't exploit these tiles for a while. Forest and woodland, this would get me a lot of industry. This would get me a fair bit of science. We have some. I mean, this counts for horses and for copper, so this would get me like 20 more science per turn. This would get me war support, which is okay. So the question is, do I want like, I don't know, like 40 or 50 gold per turn, or do I want 20 science per turn? Science is great. I have to say, I think that the money is going to be ludicrous once we get everything attached. So we're going to go ahead and reject luxury. Now we're making 57 gold per turn. That is going to be more than enough for me to start buying out some archers and such. I think those guys usually cost what? 130 gold? Yeah. So every couple of turns, we can start buying out military units now, which is pretty darn good, if you were to ask me. We could even start buying out things at the animal barns, so we'll be able to grow even faster. I've kind of capped out a lot of my stuff here. Let's go for some science on this city, and then over here, we have a little bit more industrial capacity, so I won't worry about that yet. Still working on more of these quarters. We're going to get even more money once these are all built up. My God, this is really going to become a huge amount of money. Huge amount of money. All right. And then as far as science, we can go for a standing army in a little bit. What other tech would I like to just go ahead and finish out? Probably writing. Get the extra laws, so it's cheaper to enact new civics. Also unlock the House of Scribes if I want it. Wheel, fishing, sailing, all that's good, but not crucial right now. Let's go ahead and pick that sucker up. And then, is there any reason at this point not to go ahead and just move on to the next era? I don't think so. Are we close to getting any more stars? Yes, actually, if I wanted to wait a little bit longer, we could get more science. But I think I would like to just go ahead. Well, yeah, I think I want to go ahead and move on to the next culture. Has anyone else adopted anything? No, I'll be the first one to move on into this next culture. All right, so this is going to get me the Garamontis as my next culture. These guys are new in this DLC. We get influence on main plazas if the city is growing. So if we have an excess of food and the population still grows, that translates into even more influence. This actually synergizes interestingly with the last one, which was also getting me extra food and influence. They're kind of the same deal, except this one's considered to be an agrarian culture. We will get a district, finally, a unique district that's worth some food, especially good for sterile tile, rocky fields, and stone fields. That's going to be great in my second city. And then here's what I really want to see, the Javelin Riders. A ranged cavalry unit with 27 strength, really fast, and the ability to move one tile for free after attacking, and they only cost horses. If we can get this tech up and running, I am 100% going to be attacking the Mycenaeans very early on. Let's go ahead and confirm this. We move on into the next culture, and that is where I'm going to end this video. Because again, we're trying to go for one whole era per video if possible. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end things, so thank you all very much for watching, and again, thank you to Amplitude and Sega for sponsoring. You can find links in the description down below if you like what you see. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.